So today we're going to talk about repairs, tikkuns, and corrections. So what are repairs, tikkuns, and corrections? In Kabbalah, we have a thing called a repair, a correction. Interestingly enough, when I worked at a particular place, they had the term repair as well, how to repair a situation. So in Kabbalah, we have tikkun, which is correction. What does that mean? Is that your soul comes into this world to correct something that will benefit itself and that will benefit the rest of the world. Once it corrects it, the soul is able to reveal that light. I say it's because at the seed level, at the absolute seed level, the soul is neither male nor female. The soul is just light. It's both male and female. Um, so there's a lot of spiritual questions. That's my personal belief system, is that at the seed level, the soul is both male and female. It receives and gives because it needs to connect to another soul to create its unity, and it needs to share. The males share, the females receive in Kabbalah. That's the spiritual connection. But not necessarily the physical body is entitled to male and female. You've got males in female bodies and females in male bodies, and then you've got a percentage level of sometimes more male energy or more female energy within that relationship in couples and whatnot. But those are the questions. Those are the questions that are out there that I posed out to you, and the different gradients of the soul, and in order to align itself into its mate, its couple, its soulmate. There's various different soulmates in the world. There's business soulmates, friendship soulmates, enemy soulmates, challenging soulmates, various different people that will come into your life, love soulmates. There is a twin flame, I believe. The twin flame is the ultimate one, the love, the one that is just helps you in so many ways, and you help in so many different ways. That is the twin flame. Uh, these relationships have been played out through, you can see them through pop culture and various different means. One of the most interesting relationships that I am fascinated with is the rivalry, the friendship rivalry that eventually encompasses and flourishes into friendship. And I think that in any kind of genuine friendship and any kind of genuine relationship, you can see that initially there may have been some kind of opposition, some kind of difficulty, but as time progressed, you saw that ultimately it's because there's unity. It's because there's secrets that these two individuals are here to reveal, which we go into forgiveness. And that's why it's so important to forgive, to just let go, to just sometimes you feel that it's impossible for the knot to be undone because the knot is knotted up. First you think that person knotted up the knot. First you think that person knotted up the knot, and the knot is so knotted up, and there's so many knots within the knot that it would never get unknotted. And then you realize that you also knotted up the knot. So then you're like, oh, well, they knotted up the knot, and I knotted up the knot. And then you realize how important it is, your choice to knot up the knot, and not being difficulty and chaos and whatnot. So it's then you kind of feel like it's helpless, like you can't even unknot the knot. There's no way to unknot the knot. So what you do is you place it inside water and you just let it go, and you place it inside the river, and you just, the string will never be broken. The string will never be broken. The knot is the flow of energy that has to go through. If it's in a knot, it's going up around in a loop. Eventually it'll get to where it needs to go to, but what if it's a hose? Sometimes it's clogged up and little goes through. So it's about unknotting it and letting it go. So visualize the knot as the water, as the river flows through it, just unknotting it, making it a smooth connection between you and your soulmates and your relationships. That's what I think about soulmates and relationships. Corrections. We all come into this world with a correction. We all come into this world with a thing that we do. And when we reveal the greatest light with individuals, darkness is right there with no one. We are not bad people. We are not bad people. We are good people. We are made in the likeness of the Creator. The likeness of the Creator is good. So we are good people. what ends up happening is that we get whispered to by darkness and we end up making bad choices. So it's about how do we get over those bad choices. It's about community. It's about bonding together and building a strong community that is able to move forward and support each other and say, I know that you made that bad choice, but I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm going to love you for it, and I'm going to embrace you, and I'm going to keep you away from that bad choice. I'm going to help you with your tikkun. I'm going to be there for you. I think that ultimately, in that, in a lot of ways, like, when you go to prisons and you see these prisoners who have, committed horrible crimes, and if you see a lot of the victims when they hug them and they say, I forgive you, it breaks everything down. Almost like love is just this magical sword that just is able to slash that wall of guilt and hatred and everything just right on through. So when if you live around a prison, if you think of someone who is in prison, if you think about I think about who will I make peace with. I'm gonna start making these videos. I'm having a peace parade September 21st in Pasadena City College. Not affiliated with Pasadena City College unless they'd like to come on join board. I've been there. I've gone there for quite a few years. We're walking all the way down to Old Town and all the way back. But at the same time, I'm going to make these videos where I'm thinking about who do I need to make peace with and how can I make peace with various different peoples in my life. And how can I elevate myself to a certain level of consciousness? Because I'm not perfect. There's moments where, no one's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. I forget how the song goes. I'm going to have to listen to the album. But yeah, so that's what I think. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree that we all have our corrections and we're all here to do a certain job and it's easier for us to support each other in our efforts rather than knock each other down while we're trying to? Because sometimes all of our correction is to knock each other down, to make each other better. Most of our corrections are that in the world. To beat each other, to be like, I'm better. Most of our correction is competitiveness because we want, Lord, I'm the best, right? We all have that initial seed of darkness inside of us. Not inside of us, but that is whispering around us, trying to let us know, boost our ego that our prayers and our things or whatever it is that we have done is resonated within reality, whether it's the light of the creator or whether it's reality, and that it brings us back. Whether it's for some people it's monetary gains. They're like, ooh, look at all the prosperity I have attained. And for them, that's an ego. That's a big ego because they feel like that's a relationship that they have with the light of the creator, and they can go back to the light of the creator and it's like, look at my prosperity. And the light of the creator goes, well, good for you. Here's money. And that's how their relationship is with the light of the creator. For other individuals, it's totally different. It's for other individuals, their prosperity is having the empathy of what's going on in the world. And that's how it is. So I want to wish you all a wonderful year. Thank you for listening.